What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I know many of you see the title and the thumbnail and are like, whoa, what is this topic going to be on? Again, low risk, low reward, low investment equals BS results. And on top of that, our people are shocked today. These young people, and I love messing with people saying that, though. People under 25, 27, who really in general have just concerned themselves with TikTok and stupid shit and Facebook and dances and goofy stuff and where to party at, right? Because that's their age range and that's fine. A lot of them are sitting on these podcasts and they're talking. Now, what are they doing? The guy in the video that I took a screenshot of, he talks about dead peasant insurance policy. Now, why am I'm not laughing because it's a serious topic, but I do have to get you to understand every single Fortune 500, Inc. 1000, any company above my size company, even my company, companies have the right, I know this sounds terrible, and also do access it to put in life insurance on every single employee. How do I know? When I first got my health insurance quote came to our office, the guy was like, yeah, this one's for health insurance, but you need to also talk to my associate about putting life insurance on each one of your workers, especially your 60 plus worker who has sleep apnea and a heart condition. I said, what you just say? Me, little old company with 6 people working in office. They were like, here's your insurance options, health insurance, right? So they can have a health insurance plan that they pay into and they can utilize. So I was like, that's cool. But here's our associate over here that does, you guessed it, life insurance. And you definitely want to fill out the form for all your employees. And so when I sat back, I said, man, they just asked me to put life insurance on all my employees. Dang. So if something happens, I get paid and their family don't get paid. Now, at first I was sitting there like, oh, that's a little ethical gray, don't you think? But then I realized, reading more and more documents, more data on it, that is a common occurrence. So much so that people are suing. Now, what are people suing over? It's called the dead peasant insurance policy. Look, man, there you go, right? It's called the dead peasant. Now, why do I like reading old English terms, old legal terms, right? There's a great book. It's a legal book. It's black. Don't grab the dictionary. Grab this black. It's called a legal words or legal law book. I have to go look it up. Look at the words they use, right? They still use the word bastard in a lot of old documents. If you are having children and you're not married to their mother, your child's a bastard. They still have those legal terms put on paperwork. Like old courthouses, old documents is still in there. Don't sell your property to colors, negroids, mongoloids, all this stuff. This is stuff that's still in lots of legal documents in America. It's in there. Okay. So 9 times out of 10 people don't know this because let's just go there. 80% of Americans are not in a position to fight financially, morally, any of it, right? When the jab came around and they're like, you got to get this jab or lose your job. People are like, oh, I had to do it because of my job. You did? You had no other choice. You couldn't get another job. You don't have a skill set strong enough to go get a different job and walk away and quit or put something foreign in your body. Oh, okay. Just like I tell you, these shots you get you and your kids, whoever, these laws on the book say, hey, something happened to your baby, they're injured, you can't sue the doctor. Sorry, you can't sue. So same thing with this dead peasants insurance law. Now people are trying to sue because they're mad, their son, their brother, their whoever worked, okay, work at Walmart or they work at Target or they work at an office and they pass away and the insurance company is like, hey, there ain't no money for you. That really sad. And then they just happen to stumble on the dead peasants policy. Now, why am I focusing on the word peasant? Because 90% of us want to be low risk, low investment, low returns. Unfortunately, that really falls under the definition of a peasant, right? YouTube right here, I can complain day and night about how Black YouTubers are treated on YouTube. But us as a group are in the United States, unfortunately, considered peasants, right? We're coming on YouTube arguing about dating relationships. They coming on YouTube talking about building homes. They coming on YouTube talking about investing. They coming on YouTube talking about credit cards. They coming on YouTube talking about credit repair, which has been around forever. They coming around on this platform and utilizing it to win. Now, do they come on this platform and do some ghetto silly stuff, some cat videos, some silly mess? For sure. But in general, your group can't petition and argue for better treatment around the world or on a platform if the general group is doing what? Silliness. Right? That's exactly what I saw yesterday. A lot of silly peasant behavior. People doing 5, 6, 7 hour hangouts. Men, I pop in, pop back out. They still talking on the same thing hours later. You know, one man did a 180 in 6 minutes. He's saying one thing, then he turn around and 6 minutes later say something else. Flip flopping at its best. And what happens? People are seeking validation on this internet more than real life. What's happening is all these companies are pursuing and pushing and making money off your body, whether you are alive or dead. And our people are not, and other people, let's just go there, are not focused on the bigger obstacle. Anytime someone talks to me about generational wealth and I ask if they're married, they're not. Do your children live in the home with you? Not do you have children, but do your children grow up day in and day out in the home with you? If not, you're a weekend parent. You're a part-time soldier. You're a playtime person. And listen, don't jump on me. I've had two brothers in the manosphere space who were weekend dads who got full custody of their kids, and their whole channel had to be like, listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this is work. This is work, and I have to literally every day get this kid up to eat, take this kid to school. I have to get back and do stuff. That's why when you see a real dude who's a single dad, he ain't even on the internet like that, because he got to do his part, picking his kid up, going to sports events, taking him to doctor's appointments, running back and forth, making sure she's straight, he's straight. You're not going to get real validation off this internet. Anybody telling you they a dad and they on this internet 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and they're not really making income from their channels, that's to scare you, right? So the dead peasants policy, like many other policies, the only reason the families even care is because once that person has passed away, they have no more reoccurring income. They can't make any money off that, right? They can't make money off that. Listen, CJ, there's a plenty of them. LAR Movement, he's an example. He's not the one I'm talking about, but I don't want the beef with the one I'm talking about. LAR Movement does a great job because LAR Movement had full-time custody. His uploading changed. His amount of time he on YouTube changed. All this other stuff changed because he had a full-time little person in his house. Ask him on his live. She talk about it. But there's several people out here who, even people love Greg Coach Adams. He can't leave California. He talk all this smack about people going online, chasing booties, chasing babies overseas. He couldn't really leave because his custody battle with his ex-wife said, but you can't leave. You have to stay here in California until these kids get 18. And if you want to move, you got to petition the court to move. See, this is the stuff nobody really wants to go over. They don't really want to talk about this part. Right? Because this will require real life balls, real life activity. So how dare you? I mean, I'm just going to go there. You're going to be mad at Walmart because they have a life insurance policy on your loved one and you do not. Even in some of those lawsuits, it shows where they had a policy on people who were terminally ill, which is hard to get it's hard to get a policy at that point. But again, that goes back to what is that conversation? These people be signing up for jobs. They go get hired at a job. They go get the healthcare benefits, and then they never take any use of them. They're not doing any preventative medicine. They're not doing any preventative healthcare services. Right now, at the community office that I'm renting a space out of, they have a teeth cleaning service coming to us. The mobile vehicle coming to the building, and it's $165. Teeth whitening, but really what it is the way to get you in there and go, oh, we're going to do your teeth whitening, but you should also do this. You should also come by our office because you have a cavity. You should come by our office because of this. I've seen this set up before. I've seen when people do this all the time. I've seen this set up before, right? Part of the problem with low risk, low return, low investment is it teaches you to be like that in every facet of your life. The woman you want, the man you want, the life you want, the job you want, the things you want in life are not going to come on low risk, low reward, right? The other day I told you how I'm not even going to shit you. I spent at least 3 to 4 hours in the beginning of my day handling remotely Detroit, where y'all cousins have stole the back door, the boiler, the furnace. Shit, they just didn't steal the old AC unit. They left that. They said, I ain't got time for it, right? And the Hispanic cousins had to run back and forth to Home Depot to lock it back up, close it up, lock it up, get it boarded up, talk to the investor company. Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to refinance this. This is how we're going to get rid of this, et cetera, et cetera. Appraiser come by. And somebody was like, oh, man, that's too much. I wouldn't do it all that. I'm like, it only cost me $500 between the guys getting the door, them locking it up, them cleaning the house out, them cleaning the yard. No, they didn't steal the copper. That's the good part, right? And so you're sitting there. They left it actually really clean. That's the crazy part. The crazy part of that is somebody was like, I just couldn't do that. I couldn't deal with all that. That's too much. That's right. And you will not deal with the 50K reward, right? You don't want to take any risk and you don't want any reward, right? That's why people are so angry on the internet. They want Naomi Campbell when she's 20, but they don't have no money. They don't go out of their house. They're not in the gym. They're not fit, right? This guy earlier tried to make a comment about, yeah, all y'all taking all these herbs and stuff and y'all look fat. And I'm like, I bet you money their insides are better than yours. Because a lot of black dudes is just dropping dead out here. Just bloop, drop dead, heart attack, bloop, high blood pressure, just dropping dead. Left and right, just dropping, right? That's why they be like, yeah, if you're an older woman, ain't nobody gonna marry you. No, it's not that they can't get married. Most of the men is dead from bad health, okay? So when you see her, I was trying to not go back and forth with them on the internet, but I was like, at the end of the day, like most of the food in America is shitty and processed. If somebody wants to go get a couple juices a week, they want to do a few cleanses and detoxes, they want to attempt to get better at their health, who am I to stop them? That might open the door to them walking more, exercising more, doing better. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Hello? Is there sound? You guys put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, refresh your page. Right? And so I'm picking fun at the dude, but it was really one of those moments where you're like, I'm laughing about this, but it's not funny, right? It's just right now I'm in 2 different classes. One's an oil rig event. I'm investing in an oil rig, right? And then another one is African minerals. Now I'm not gonna hop on the plane and go with them to Zambia. I'm not gonna do it. I'm a bit too busy for next week to even do it. But I'm invested in the group. I'm like, hey, let's go over there. Let's get what we gotta get. And what's crazy is women leading those groups. It's a man leading the oil rig group, but it's a woman leading the African group. And the craziness about it is every other group of people, Indians, Asians, Koreans, if they go to Mexico, Chinese, if they go to Africa and they broke, they come into that country to start a business and invest. Only we online talking about how we gonna go over there with no money, no respect, no prospects, no money in our pocket, and go get some of them shoeless women. That's what, I can't wait to get over there and get the women. And do what, my brother? And do what? Be in poverty over there? Or be in poverty over here? Because that's what this all charts out to. You dig what I'm saying? Low risk, low reward, low targets. When your targets are so low, they on the ground. That don't help you. It don't help you. It ain't even got to be about helping your people. It don't help you. Right? So validation is proof of theory. Proof of theory. Right? The validation a lot of you are looking for is going to come off this internet. This is why when I have events, I'm like, come see me in Arizona. Okay, your next couple events, come see me in Texas. Come make it to the boat party. Oh, Ericka, I was so busy. Okay, cool. Like, no harm, no foul. But again, the validation you're seeking and looking for is off this internet, right? Same thing with the van life people. You actually go see some of their groups. They would have meetings in Mexico, or they would have meetings in Oklahoma. Hey y'all, we're all meeting up, a bunch of the van life people over here in Las Vegas, in Sedona, Arizona, in Mexico, because even they, in real life, real adult life, had to have what? Some face of accountability, right? Once you move into your van life, your friends living in apartments and houses gonna be like, I don't know about that, right? So they had to go get real validation from what? Other van life people. Now, if you go over there, you see a ton of these van life people done bought cabins, they done bought houses. As soon as that YouTube money hit, they was gone. Why is that? Because a lot of people are looking at things they cannot afford. They're looking at things that will not validate them, and they'll be online day and night watching this shit, right? They're watching it day and night online. But guess what? The real validation is when you get off this internet. It's the same thing with this life insurance. You're hoping that nothing goes bad. Lord, I'm knocking on wood. I hope nothing ever happens to me and my family. My kids never get sick. I never pull a hair, an ankle, or nothing. And I'm just hoping. Right? When life insurance is $25 a month, and people will look you dead in the eye and say, I have cash flow problems. I can't pay for health insurance. Ah, okay, cool. Say that, right? Because that's the real validation, right? And it's no ill of the dead, but when Roger Curry's brother sit here and posted online, he had a GoFundMe. The men over here were like, be quiet, don't say nothing about it. No, man, that's the whole point. If you're a 60-year-old man who's had multiple surgeries 3, 4, 5 years in a row, and then you marry a 25-year-old young thing, 26, and you have a baby with her, you don't have the provisions. Don't mean he want a nice guy. Don't mean he want a good guy. Don't mean he want a nice husband to her. Don't mean he want a good dad. But being part of being a good dad is providing for your children and the future and what you will leave them. Say what y'all want about Kevin Samuels. Hey, he has left a future and a legacy for his daughter and his wife that he is not divorced from. Say what you want. But that is the true validation of getting off this internet. I probably got to take this damn post down, but I know what I'm saying, right? 9 times out of 10, you may have a gift, and you don't realize you have a gift. Whatever that is, it could be music, it could be singing, it could be piano, it could be the numbers, the whatever. You don't realize you have the gift. Everyone around you can see clearly, like, damn, that guy's talented at this. That girl is talented at that. Now, 9 times out of 10, they'll hang around as long as it benefits them. When it stops benefiting them, or it gets outside their purview of what they can control or input on, that's when the hate starts. That's when the pettiness starts. But this is how people get distracted. You got a magical gift, and I'm gonna use Whitney Houston just because I'm running out of solutions, but just get something that people would understand. Solution: Whitney Houston could sing. She was singing back up for her mama, her cousin Dionne Warwick, her other cousin somebody else. They got singers genetics in that family. Singing genetics, okay? They just in the blood, they got genetics, okay? Okay? And so she out here trying to sing. She's stressed out. Now, what people don't want to bring up in the story is her brother was the drug person that introduced her to drugs. This is why when we sit here and have these conversations about where you live, who you around, what your other children are introducing to your other children is also important, right? Siblings can be very much dangerous, right? So her mission was to sing. His mission is to do drugs and hang out. Them are two different things, right? Who you surround yourself with, it is also that. Low risk, low reward, right? Brother ain't got no risk in smoking drugs because he ain't a singer. He ain't on stage. That's Whitney. We just gonna live off her money. Bobby Brown, I'm not selling records no more. That's fine. I'm gonna live off my wife. Low risk, low reward. Right? There's nothing to risk here. I bought into the winning golden goose. But when your vision of your life is not clear, distractions will come into your life like opportunities. I want to say that one more time. Distractions will come in your life like opportunities. Okay? Proximity matters. Who you around, who you dealing with matters. Number one thing that people be telling me about something they want to do, and then you ask them, hey, where's your credit at? What's your this? Well, I can't afford it. Why are you looking at things you can't afford? I ain't trying to be an ass. I'm being real serious right now. Why are you looking at things you cannot afford? Well, Ericka, I'm manifesting. I'm projecting. I'm looking at the future. I'm hoping. I'm wishing. I'm woo sighing. And I like the woo woo, but I really want to have those moments like, why are you looking at things you can't afford? Why are you shopping in them stores? Why are you using your energy, which is your life force, but your energy in these dangerous ways, right? These dangerous ways. So now we look for somebody to blame, and that's why I brought up the dead man's policy. They mad at Walmart. Not because they gave their family member a job, but because they about to make bank off their family member, and they can't make money off their family member. Right? Not that they were, oh, hey man, Walmart, if you could ever be so happy, maybe give us an extra little paycheck or something. No. That's Walmart put that money down. What's that Dame Dash used to say? Put your own money up. People out here critiquing how I did trucking. They critiquing how I did Detroit. They critiquing how I'm building new construction. They critiquing all this stuff, and I don't see them where? Outside. I don't see them owning a truck. I don't see them owning a business. I don't see them owning a real estate. I don't see them with no hammer and no nails in their hand. I don't see them calling the banks like I'm calling them. Right? So people got a lot of conversation when they're not even in the space, when they're not even doing the thing, right? Maybe people be like, oh, I was never to the military, because everybody I know at the military, they angry, they drunk, they broke. You be like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, where are you getting this data from? Yeah, everybody I know. You mean your uncle and your cousin? That's not enough people. And that's not realistic life data. That means your family got some jacked up shit going on. That's all that means. They couldn't get it right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, people, what you're around, what you can see, what you can feel, what you can touch, you can validate. So when people are on this internet, no camera on their face, right? No matter what they talk, oh, Ericka, you fat, you this, you that. Baby, I went outside the house, went to conferences, got myself a man, getting married. I mean, like, again, having kids, doing the shebang. This is the stuff that real life meets the internet. Well, if I had money, I'd do this, but you don't have money because you won't commit to anything and you won't validate yourself out in the real world, right? These cities ain't that big. I want y'all to understand, these cities ain't that big. I ran into some classy climbers right out here in Austin, right out here in Round Rock, right? So when people start talking this crazy talk online, I'm like, don't you know people can find you? Don't you know this ain't that far? This ain't that far from other people. Like, people can touch out and reach out and touch you, but they ain't got no fear of nobody reaching out and touching them. You know why? Because we got a world full of cowards. We got a world full of people with no heart. They're the cowardly lion, praying for courage. Right? Steps 1, 2, 3. Oh man, I can't do step 2, Ericka. That's too much. Well, then you won't get the solution. It's steps 1, 2, 3. Right? Is your vision clear enough for what you want? Is your vision clear enough? Does what you're trying to do go in the direction of your vision? So many times people say, well, Ericka, I just watch a little bit of this. I just do a little bit of that. Girl, I just smoke a little bit of weed. Girl, I just get drunk every Thursday. That's all, girl. Like, is that in line with your vision? And I mean that. When y'all out here making these phone calls, you booking these consult calls, you going to these conferences, is this in line with your vision? Right? And the reason y'all have such problems with your children and your spouses, because you've been so flip-floppy, so wishy-washy, they don't got no respect left. They like, you said you was going to do that last year. You ain't did it yet. Mama said she was going to walk more. She ain't walked more yet. My mama said she was losing baby fat. She ain't lost no weight since I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, your family is picking up because they see you the most often. So instead of trying to do a low, I'm going to just put $5 a month away for 20 years, Ericka. Ooh, that ought to cure me. Nah, baby. Like the amount of money I just poured into the stock market the last 3 weeks has been close to $4,000. But see, y'all want to do the flip, 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 flip. I want to get in stocks and flip. I want to get in this and flip. I want to jump into tech sales jobs and flip. I want to jump into tech. And again, low risk, low reward. Anybody can watch a video and think they know something. You don't know nothing. If you knew what you think you knew, if you're investing with the people you really say you're investing your time and energy with, they would show you how easy some of this shit would be. Like, if I could show y'all without getting beat up, which I would get beat up literally, the about 10 to 15 black people right now who've made 10 to $40 million off their course sales in the past 3 years, they can't ever reveal that because then they got to show you how much they spend on advertising. They got to retype up their marketing because their marketing's like, we're just a lowly working couple. I'm like, nah, really look at people's backstories. They're sitting here making as couples 200, 300,000 together in tech, in accounting, in different atmospheres. They're buying homes, they're doing all this stuff in 2 to 5 years. Why? Because their foundation was good. Their foundation was good. Nobody wants to really have these conversations. So y'all watching people on YouTube and you're like, man, they balling out. YouTube is their friend. Nah, they're spending like 5 to 10K a month pushing these videos because YouTube algorithm plays a lot, right? This is the things y'all don't really want to hit on. I'm just gonna go there. There's 250 people here right now. Hit the like button. Even my affiliates, we have 157 affiliates. We got to go back and change a lot of descriptions in 2,400 videos at least, if I'm not mistaken. Then on top of that, we're having the editors, multiple editors, chop up clips for two other channels. It's a lot going on over here, but it don't need my full attention all day and night, right? So it allows me to have conversations about the African mineral investment, about the oil rig investment, about looking for more land lots, people trying to bring me land lot deals. It gives me time to do that. But it didn't start that way. I had to put some skin in the game. It was real easy for me yesterday to work the 3 hours and be like, hey, get here, clean the grass, clean out the house, board it up, take the key over to here, drop it off, done. But that's been years of dealing with silly stuff, right? We just ran around and got our Debo cousins to run up on one of my tenants. And now he's like, ma'am, let me pay the back rent. Please don't put me out, please, Lord. I'm like, sir, let me tell you something. June 1st, they're going to be knocking at your door. If you ain't got the money, you getting out. Okay? Detroit, don't make me show you out yourself. Had to run around and put my foot on the neck of the Cleveland guy. Hey, what's up? Where's the rents? What's going on? What's this tenant doing? They need to be put out. Let's get it moving. What more do you need? Right? And so when you get to a certain level, you're just calling and following up. You're just putting foot to neck pressure on everybody that's getting any money off you because why? I have to pay people. Right? So if I got to pay people, you got to make sure you're paying me. And if you're not doing your books right, then I got to sit here with my foot on your neck. If you don't want to get out of this property, I'm going to visit Detroit and I'm going to bring some people with me and you're going to get out. How you like them apples? You don't? Oh, you want to do right now? Cool, no problem. I'm calling everybody at the city of Detroit. I kid you not, I called about 40 offices the other day because I got my VAs to make some calls too, right? And leave the same voice message. My emails and my phone rang so hard this morning, but it's because I was putting my foot on the neck of people. A lot of people do the same damn job down there in the city of Detroit. They just do. But you know why? Because my vision is so clear. I know where I'm trying to go. So little distractions can get wrapped up quick. Oh, that's not where we're trying to go. Wrap that up. Close that up. I don't give a shit about that. Close that up. Be done with it. Right? Be done with it. So the validation a lot of y'all are seeking is not online. You have to show proof of concept, proof of theory. If you out here on this internet every day and night for 10 hours a day, nobody believes you. You chasing all these women and you're falling all over yourself. Why? Because we're naturally braggadocious people and we'll take pictures of ourselves. Right? And people are like, Ericka, I'm worried that you're not getting enough sleep and vacationing enough. Baby, I went on a vacation every week for the past 2 years. And sometimes twice a month. I think I went to Hawaii and Mexico in the same month. We're doing the same thing again this year. We're going to Mexico. We're going 4 other places in 2 months. Right? Why? Because I took the sacrifice. I did the real validation. I went off this internet and had to take the money and do what? Put it up, as Dame Dash says. Put my own money up. Take the hit myself. Get beat in the legs myself. Right? Put my own credit on the line. Put my own credit report on the line. When I do the funding courses, I don't just do those off of, I'm just guessing. No, these are things I'm actually testing and trying and knocking shit off my credit and testing and trying and going out here and testing and trying. And I'm showing you, okay, this is what we tested and tried. And here's what 15 other students tested and tried. And we all got this much lines of credit. This is how I know. Oh, I paid 10K to be in this mastermind. This is how I know this information. Right? But it's proof of validation. It's proof of concept. And a lot of people, they don't want to prove that they don't have a lot of value in this society. Right? Some of these people, if you saw them off the internet and they're walking down the street, you wouldn't even turn your head. You'd be like, and keep on going. And you know it. We all know it. This just is what it is. Let me go to your comments real quick and kind of wrap this up. But just for the record, all companies having policies on y'all. Every one of these companies y'all go work at got a policy on you. You die, they get paid. If your husband doesn't take care of the policy right, hey, whoever he got it on there will get paid. I've heard at least 15 stories, watched 15 different TV news reporters where the husband got divorced, remarried the next woman, had kids, had a whole life, died. The policy still had the first wife name on it. Guess what the company had to do? Pay the first wife. That just is what it is. It's paperwork. You don't like it, go fight for it, right? This is a low risk, low investment person. Oh, I only want to put a couple dollars a month in the stock market, Ericka. I only want to do this. Don't want to educate themselves. Don't want to read. Don't want to join trading groups. Don't want to hey, why is the economy doing this? Why is this turning like this? Be a fucking specialist at least in one thing, right? Coming online crying about how it should be is pathetic. Let me just go there. Oh, it's not fair to Black people. It's not fair as a man. It's not fair as a woman. It's not fair. I don't get what I want. Again, that's pathetic. You know what I'm saying? There's a level of venting and there's a level of pathetic. Because really, once we identify the problem, these men ain't acting right. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back to you. Why are these men ain't acting right? How come everybody else is running into some decent, nice, kind men, but you keep running into hoochie daddies? What's going on? See, she don't want that. She don't want that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to really go, well, I think I keep running into hoochie daddies because my life is full of hoochie daddy activities. Nobody wants to talk about that. The same way every day you get online, every day of your life talking about baby mama drama and Black women ain't shit and I'm mad. Guess what? You're going to get more and more and more of that because the law of energy, the law of attraction commands it. Right? I have a friend and we used to make fun of him because he'd be always in the gym. I'm in there 2 hours a day. We finally went and go worked out with him at Gold's Gym. Let me tell you what he was doing. He'd do a few lifts, then he'd be on the phone. Then he'd do something else, then sit down on the phone. Then do something else 2 hours later. So yeah, you spending 2 hours in the gym, but most of the time you on the phone. This is part of why I paid personal trainer today. Literally bought these little wedges that you can stand your foot on when you do your deadlifts and stuff. Man, my whole back leg was on fire. I'm like, Jesus Lord, what is this? He's like, it's a little wedge. It'll help people. And I'm like, yeah, it's working all right, right? But you don't know that if you're not willing to let somebody critique you and let you know, hey, this what you're doing ain't gonna work. All right? This what you're doing could be better. But that requires you to interact with grown people and have outside adult validation. People don't want that. They've been doing that forever. Companies did this all over. Used to be called dead janitor policies in the 1990s. God damn. Not the dead janitor. What the janitor do but clean the building and make it look lovely. Black's Law Book. That's the name of it. Black's Law Book. Again, when people start sending you these credit contracts and all this other stuff, go pull up Black Law Book. When you buy it on Amazon, I know for a while they wasn't letting people buy it, but now they are. It's a hard copy, ain't even a soft copy. Okay, so yeah, like I didn't make any employees take the jab. I didn't make it mandatory. I think that is sick and dangerous. But that's just, that's like me coming to your school and saying every child will eat peanut butter. I would go to jail, wouldn't I? Because kids have peanut allergies. Bastard comes from Bar Stinster. Dialectorate Kadars. He wasn't legitimate. Ooh, interesting. Thank you, John. Endless podcasts about relationships, but only EYL is leading the investing black YouTube. And that's the funny part about even you saying that, kind seaplane. Earn Your Leisure is just a collection hobby. It's just a collecting place, right? But if you actually take your time today or tomorrow and you go incognito, or you go on a new different laptop at work or somewhere else and you type up wholesaling, construction, new home building, all the stuff, there are black people in every single one of those lanes. Now, here's the conundrum. Earn Your Leisure is like, you ever see the UFC? UFC, man, UFC champion, yeah. But there's Bellator, there's all these other fighting leagues. That is what Earn Your Leisure has become. Like, look at these people over here. Yeah, these some good people. But if I actually deep dive into government contracting, I'll find 27 black people doing it. If I deep dive into new construction, I'll find 57 black people doing that all over the United States. They just ain't trying to be what? Hot, flashy, young. Look at me, I'm flashy. They ain't doing that. They live in a real everyday life. Even there's a woman in New Orleans, one of the richest real estate women in New Orleans. She just now starting to get out here on the internet, right? Any category you can go over there and look up, because your girl was supposed to be over there. She turned it down. It is what it is. I didn't do no deal. Tax liens. You go find 100 people talking tax liens, right? There is this thing in our culture, the Highlander, they can only be one, right? And so we watched a spear completely disintegrate after O'Shea left, and now it's all these little, I'm the Highlander. And they haven't got results. They ain't got no, say what you will about some of these guys, but the ones that are traveling overseas, they're going outside, they're talking to people, they're learning new languages. I have respect for them more than I have for people out here talking about how they got a passport, but they working in a warehouse somewhere and will never visit anywhere because they don't plan on it. It's really not in their vision. Their vision is just to feel good about themselves doing bare minimum. So the prom thing is a thing. And I'll say this in a way that just doesn't sound elitist, but it's going to sound it. Growing up, when you went to so many different dances and events and balls and socials and trying to think very nicely how to say it. Prom ain't nothing. I went to prom like 6 times, different people, all kind of stuff, right? Prom ain't nothing, right? But for some of these people who are lower income, and not even those who are lower income, but some of these middle class parents who really aren't involved in society. They're not in groups where they're doing balls and banquets and volunteering at charity groups. This is their one thing they can do, is prom and have a party. I can have a party for my child. That's one thing they can do. And I say this in a way like I was trying to explain to my significant other about all these events, like golf classes coming up and banquets. And he's like, Jesus. Like, and I'm like, yeah, like the higher you go up, the more it's like, hey, we're going to meet more often, but we're going to be at a banquet. We're going to be volunteering at a charity banquet. We're going to be playing golf on a Saturday and it benefits the kids. It's different levels to this, right? So even when I talk to him about if you move to a new city, you got to do this, he's like, well, most people don't do that. And I go, and most people are poor. Most people are poor and educated. They just moving because they're in dire poverty. They just need to be in a new city. We don't live and move like that. You dig what I'm saying? When I have friends who they used to think, oh God, I'm gonna have to move home and take care of my parents. This same person now, he's a vice president of one of the tech companies here. He's got a mother-in-law suite at his house. He's got a second house back where he's from, so that he can, if push comes to shove, he can go spend time and his family don't have to be on top of his parents. I mean, you think differently, you live differently, right? All these mother-in-law suites you see in Dallas and Houston, it's not by accident, it's by design. They know a lot of these people are going to have their parents They're gonna move to Texas. They're gonna be making good money in Texas. They ain't gonna want to leave Texas, but they got a whole parent they got to take care of. So they're gonna bring that parent back down to these mother-in-law suites. And again, mother-in-law suites. They got these whole kids going off to college, but really ain't ready. They're gonna live in the mother-in-law suites and not bother their family. I mean, it's just levels to this. Low risk, low reward only works as a side hustle while having a high paying job. Yeah, you know, even then, Ericka, I put $5 in stock. Or like when people used to go crazy about crypto, I made 1,700% returns. I'd be like, how much money? How much money? Like I have a stock right now. I took a screenshot of it. It went up $10 since they announced it. Right now, silly me, I should have dropped 2-3 grand into it. I'd have been like, but at the end of the day, it's the low risk, low reward stuff. The stuff people like, yeah, I did all this money in my crypto. Okay, well, how much cash? $100? Like, man, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone, everybody's got to start somewhere, but the low risk, low reward conversation, it goes endless, right? You can come on YouTube and people was talking about budgeting and budgeting envelopes. And I was like, there's thousands of videos on budgeting. Oh my God, y'all don't know how to take a sheet of paper out and this is my gross, this is my net, and subtract from it? Didn't know. This is why Dave Ramsey will still be a billionaire. I know people hate hearing Dave Ramsey, but Dave Ramsey is where a lot of these people will start because they don't have any discipline and no parent is teaching them anything. I've seen non-monetized channels doing 10-hour hangouts just smoking the entire time. Journey to Jasmine, a lot of these guys got demonetized because they was doing too much. So if they don't show me where they have a Patreon or they have where you pay, like prime example, I give Ty City a shout out. Ty City was talking about crypto and people were like, oh man, we don't hear that shit. Talking about blockchain, nobody hear. He don't went out and bought all his own land. He has custody of his son. See, people don't want to hear that part. They don't want to hear that part. Right? That he has these outside life validation things. Well, he said, okay, well, come on over here to the Uncut Underground. $10 a month. Now, I don't know how many people are signing Uncut. I pay him 10 because I just like that concept. I think it's over maybe 1,000 people. I don't know. I could be wrong. Tyson can get at me if I'm wrong. But again, $10 times 100 people. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting 10K a month for running a stream because you know you can't talk about those topics here on YouTube over there. And if guys are really serious, they'll put money down on it, but they're not. As long as the content's free and it's talking silly, you'll have an audience. But when you ask these same people, can you put $10 on something so we can really talk about what we want to talk about? They ain't got no money. Simple as that. They ain't got no money. Ericka, you shouldn't be harsh on people. I'm like, I'm not being harsh. Nothing's going to be as harsh as you as life. And when you don't have a clear vision, because you'll get all kind of distracted. My bad, Eric. I'm gonna get on my cousin. Get on them cousins. Tell them get out of there. Very true. My mom has several friends divorced due to the men not taking health seriously. It's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate. In the land of the shoeless, the man with Yeezys is king. You already know. When I got money, I was gone, Uncle Leroy. Okay, you already know. Well, we even in San Juan, he is. You know, and that's the thing. We don't want to talk about that though. Like these people, this is what I want y'all to understand. I'm over 30 something. And I've actually watched a friend get married. In under 60 days, she died in a car accident. She didn't even get to live her full married life with her husband, right? And to see people be in their 50s and 60s with no life insurance, it's like the most upful, that is the most arrogant thing a person can do. Like, I'm great. I'm in great health. The funniest thing Eric Hip Hop Timer Preaches told us at the event in Las Vegas, he was like, his grandma died at 95. And she went to go get surgery. She was like, hey man, you know, she was just sounding real bad. He was like, whoa, you ain't never sound like this. I'll come fly and come see you. right? Because he didn't see her the month before, and he was like, I felt bad. So I was like, well, I'm gonna come see you after surgery. Well, she comes out of surgery, and then she dies. Well, guess what? He calls his cousin. He's like, oh my God, grandma died. Oh, damn. I should have seen her. I felt bad. Okay, when the funeral? We not gonna have we gonna have a repast. And he's like, wait a minute. Are y'all telling me grandma ain't got no life insurance? Well, we was gonna get around to it, and then he said, listen, she was 95 years old. When do you think is the time to go get it? After a while, they don't have to issue it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like law. And so you have people out here with the arrogance to be in their 50s, knowing they a stroke away from falling out, and they going back and forth to the DR in Brazil, and have the nerve to leave it the burden on their family to bury them. Let me tell you something. If I had a cousin or somebody running around chasing booty in the DR, he died over there, I'm like, y'all gonna have to bury him over there. Y'all gonna have to cremate him. Call it a day. Shit, my daddy died overseas. We got him back. But that's because part of he's a military, he's a veteran. It was free. They're like, oh, got him, gonna get him over here. He's a veteran. We got him. Right? Half these folks ain't even veterans. The other half don't even have an Amex card if something go wrong. I watched the dude from Thailand do a video, black dude, good looking black brother, shaved head. He got full grown kids in Chicago, left, moved over to Thailand, now he on his second kid with the second woman. That's a whole nother story in itself. He had a white friend, died. Four weeks later, body still in the morgue. And he's like, I'm real upset about my friend John being in the morgue still. And he was like in the comments saying, well, I've called his family, I've called his friends, and nobody's done anything about it. What does that tell you? This person ain't got no policy. This person ain't got no life insurance. They ain't got no money. Because listen, y'all know how family can be. If Uncle John had some money somewhere or a house somewhere, they would be quick to go get Uncle John's body from the Thailand. But clearly Uncle John ain't got no money. Right? Because if not, they would have already made provisions to get Uncle John. And so when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's such entitlement, such arrogance that, oh, I'm not going to pay for that. I'm not paying for that. It's crazy. I went to a networking event at my job. I won the room over while my coworkers were antisocial. I got a promotion a month later. Now I have more time to work on my small business. There you go. Yeah. They be out here looking crazy. She said, hey, sis, fellow business owner here, gainfully employed, supporting 200 plus. It takes faith to step out. I've had a night I couldn't sleep. It's not for the weary. The more you do, the better you get. You know what what you guys are gonna see, and even I posted in the email. It's fractional COO. Now, what is a COO? Is a chief operating officer. There are people out there now specializing in being your CFO, COO, and CFO, which is chief financial officer. And if your business is really making money, or you're like some of these dudes I ran into in some of these events, you got a 20, 30, $50,000 in credit cards, and you can dedicate just that card to that business where you make sure the payroll is paid for at least the next 3 months. I mean, you can hire those people. You can hire a fractional COO and a fractional CFO, right? Because at some point, two of the people I know who have $1 million, what we used to call a side business, they have $1 million business. They're doing full-time something else. And the only reason they stand at the full-time thing is they're vested. It's a startup company here in Austin, Texas, and they had to stay, I think, 6 years to be vested. I don't want to mistake the words, but once that company, of course, goes public, you know what I'm saying? People want to, they want to keep being vested. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to lose that position. So I don't blame them. Can you opt out? Can you opt out? I've heard companies adding insurance on their employees. No, Desiree Jefferson, no, you can't. That's the funny part. Like they weren't even telling employees this. What happens is, let's say, unfortunately, you pass away on the job. Your family is looking for, if they do and sometimes they'll do the mortgage company will do this. Like you died, there's a mortgage with your name on it, with your spouse name. You should automatically just go to your wife, right? But the mortgage company is just going to do a quick check. Like, is there any kind of insurance policy out there that says otherwise? Is there any kind of insurance policy out there that says what the next step should be? And that's how people are finding out in these lawsuits about these policies. Because, like, in order for them to take over, be the estate executor, sometimes there's an audit being done, looking if there's something out there for that person. And so when it shows, oh no, their company had a policy on them. Oh, is it a family policy? Oh no, they had this type of policy. That's what's happening. But every single company in America does this. This is not even an opt-out option. A lot of them don't even tell you they're doing this. But just think about it. I mean, I'm not going to be funny, but it's terrible. 7-Eleven, grocery store, corner stores. You know, the robbery rates in gas stations is so high. You don't think these gas station companies have policies on these people? You don't think these hotels have policies on these people? You don't think the local swimming pool with the lifeguard has a policy on the lifeguards? Man, they got a policy on everybody. This is very common. Like, when I was offered that, I was so shocked. I thought, man, that should be illegal, but it's not. It at all. At this level, there's no HR you can cry to. Hey, man. Looking to see which class you took so I can choose one. Stop trying to mimic me. I have a video where you can mimic me, but you can't mimic me because you don't have my same talents and my same level of what I'm looking for. If you look under the description links of a lot of my videos, I put the links of courses. At the end of the day, like, there's been about 10 people who've literally took 1 or 2 certificates and hit the door running. And if you're actually inside some of these courses, you'll see how they tell you how to tweak your LinkedIn. And also, I'm more lucky than most. I have access to 4 different recruiters in my phone. Really, I have access to 6, but that's another conversation. Ericka, they out there chasing gray sweatpants and Hellcats. Woo! If a biz does have a insurance policy to buy out the dead partner, the biz dies off. Standard biz. It really does. Like, there's just all kind of policies that cover your employees and stuff. Exactly. The fighters in Bellator and 1F, they make more money than UFC. They just have more attention. He said, I'm the Highlander, more like Zoolander. I mean, it's something that I see. Smoke and mirrors of having cash. As you said, it takes work to move up to the next level. It really does, and it's unfortunate. And like the key part about it is trying to be nice. People are going to spend their money on something, right? And you can tell them, again, this gets into that realm of like, I think you should do this. Are you their parent? Are you their spouse? Then they don't have to do what you say. It's very simple. Prom is the last time a lot of people can be seen as that guy, that girl, that boss bee before a normie in society at best. Man, there you go. I mean, the most unfortunate thing happened during the prom this past year. This guy and girl, they were beautifully dressed. They actually died in a car accident that night coming back from prom in a Tesla. The Tesla was on the auto driver pilot thing. And I'm like, ooh, their parents about to make some money. But at the end of the day, people are like, look how beautiful they were. And I'm like, first of all, I'm just like, who got these kids in a Tesla and letting it drive them? Huge guy. I mean, like, this is how you know, unfortunately, and this is why when people say, why do I advocate for moms staying home, or even your father at times staying home, is the fact that people don't know these basic 101 things, like just keeping track of what they bring in and what they spend blows my mind. It's huge too. Yeah, there you go. Prom appears to serve as a rite of passage ceremony in the absence of deliberate events for that purpose. Prime example, right? Quinceañeras. Girls have quinceañeras, Latino girls have quinceañeras at 16. It's a rite of passage, right? Jack and Jill events for Black people. Those are still going on right as we speak this moment. Urban League events. All these events that we could go to all year long. That's why when people say, oh, I can't believe people are spending money, I'm like, people spend money all year long for events and banquets. You just don't know that. He said, prom is the highlight of some people's lives. All down from here, I went to college, they went to the streets. Man, there is a man here on YouTube still talking about how his sisters tried to hook him up, or his mom tried to hook him up with ugly women for the prom, and he's still talking about it. He's still going on about it. I'm like, you are 50 something years old, still using this prom example as an example of your life. You ain't had nothing else happen to you since prom. You ain't had no travel, no vacations, no going overseas, no major event. That's not good. That's not good look. They have insurance on cell phones, luxury overpriced items, though, all the time. I'm telling you, I see people that be skinny dying of strokes and heart attacks and cholesterol be through the roof, and you be like, yeah, you don't do but smoke blunts and drink all day. Like, being skinny don't mean nothing. Same thing for government employees. The government has, listen, the military got, listen, my mom, when she got like $3 million policy, and everybody's like, that's ridiculous, a policy. You shouldn't have that much policy for yourself. My mom was like, the military got a policy on me. Why not me? Right? like, like what y'all don't understand what's happening to the invasion at the border. Biden and them folks already know the invasion is coming and they can't stop it. So that's why you see Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Austin applying for this emergency aid, because the government already earmarked it. They already know, okay, these people coming. Damn, what we gonna do? We about to get slammed at the school level. We got to get slammed at the Social Security office. We got to get slammed at the food stamp office. We getting ready to get slammed just anywhere you could think, right? Where paperwork is, police, anything. So these cities are doing what they can do to get money. So Atlanta got 7 million. Chicago getting millions. Now some of this money is gonna go to where? It's gonna go to hotels. It's gonna go to schools. It's gonna go. You ever go to the school and they got those trailers in the back where they added some more trailers so kids can learn? They're gonna be putting them little Hispanic children in them trailers, in them English/Spanish classes. I'm telling you what's about to happen. These people already know this is coming and they can't stop it. Only thing would stop it would be an executive order of lining a bunch of folks at the border. And our government can't do it, won't do it, or decided not to do it. That's just my thoughts on it. So, yeah, when you're a police officer, the department has a policy on you. A lot of little stuff, right? Like, prime example, there was this little small town. The guy was doing the father died in, well, I hate to say it that way, like in action, like working as a police officer. So he had his police car and they were auctioning it. So his son was trying to buy it from the auction at the local level. Well, some guy outbid him at the auction. He was about to cry. He was in there about to cry. And he turned around and gave him the key. And he said, the county should have gave it to you instead of making you buy it this way. So yeah, everything you can think of has got a policy and something else on it. Can you take out a policy on your tenants? Man, listen, I have asked. But the level of information you would need, you won't have enough information. Now, when somebody comes to work for you, what do you do when you come get a job somewhere? You submit your Social Security card, you submit your banking account, you submit your driver's license, you submit all kind of stuff. Think about it. Your tenant don't submit that much information to you, and they're not in a direct capacity to you. Now, could you take out different policies on your house in case of death, in case of this, in case of that? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yes, nonprofits too. I don't know why y'all keep asking these little companies. Every single company in America where insurance is required to open, operate, start, they are offered this. I had an office with 6 employees and they came and standardly offered me, all right, here's this and here's the death policy. Do you want to do this on your employees? I'm like, what? Huh? What? This is standard. This isn't like, and this is why we only have really 10%, 11% of Americans really owning a business in America, because all the things I'm looking for, I'm trying to say, the people that are really invested, the people that are really spending the money, aren't on YouTube complaining about women for 7 hours a day. They're just not. Right. So my company is giving me $50,000 life insurance free. I'm a fool to think my company your company got a big ass policy on you. I mean, the crazy part is the reason the lawsuit is so strong is the dead peasants policy. It has been paying like $1 million. Like a employee dies, they make $12 an hour, they get $1 million from them dying. People get real like, oh my God, that's terrible. You should help the family. The company has a right to help your family. You think Starbucks is sending all these people to college for free? You think Starbucks is sending all these people without it being a huge tax government incentive come back to them? Come on, man. Nah, they were coming back from the prom, man. It's crazy. A sense of urgency is the greatest determinant in growth and success. Without any urgency, there's a lack and deprivation. Yes. I mean, again, it's just having a clear vision. They usually have an annual coalition for teens in my area. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a good question. Do you think they are letting them in to help balance out SSI because of the aging American workforce? So here's the combination of what, I want you guys to keep understanding. 20% of all white Americans are 65 years old or older. That's already that's like, I don't need to work if I don't want to. I can get pension access. I can get Social Security access. Um, if I buy another house, it's really the downsize. Like, that's a huge number of people. That's millions of people. And then on top of that, for the next 10 years, every day for the next 10 years, we'll have thousands of people retiring. Now, keyword, they're supposed to be retiring, but a lot of people, family and parents, are not in a position to retire. I've had family members retire and now they're working at another location. I've had family members retire and now they don't start a tax preparation office. Like, they don't really retire. A lot of people just go do something else. And so I think, and this sounds harsh, but it's American men low testosterone. Now, hear me out. I know everybody's like, you're a man hater. I'm not a man hater. They keep doing all these studies and tests that show American men testosterone is low. It's the food, it's the air, it's the chemicals, it's the water, it's the whatever, right? So the natural inclination for people to go to where? Dangerous careers are low, right? We don't have a bunch of men standing outside like, I want to be a plumber. I want to climb on power lines. I want to go wrestle bears. I want to go be a rodeo clown. I want to go to, that's not at an all-time high. Okay, it's just not. So now you have people coming across the border who don't walk across jungles, seas, water, dangerous situations. And they like, look, if you take this job, all you got to do is this. That person going to be like, yes, I can do it. I'll do it. Climb down that pole, climb in that ditch, climb and dig a sewer line. I'll do it. Go dig in the fields for vegetables for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I'll do it. It's a different level of intensity. And this happens any and everywhere in America. If you really pay attention to how all y'all moved to Atlanta, all the Black New Yorkers that moved to Atlanta, but then got busy. I'm not saying they weren't gonna get busy in New York, but they were used to working so hard in New York to stay in New York. They got to the South and was like, damn, this is easy. This is a cakewalk. That is the same vision that many of these people are coming to America with. This is a cakewalk. All I got to do is come in here and work a little bit. It's a cakewalk. So yeah, it's a little bit of that. They're gonna let it go through. They're gonna let it go through. And there's several reasons why that. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Now I understand why Walmart out here hiring disabled and old folks. Everybody hiring them. 50K is fairly standard. It's the IRS limit before it's taxable to the employee. Thank you, Brandy. Coming in with the IRS numbers. Yeah, tofu, plastic, all that stuff. Should we worry about a controlled stock market correction due to the retiring boomers? I'm somewhat suspicious since they are just now promoting minorities to get into the market. Now, Xanatos Clutch, I'll take it to you the next level. I have a strong feeling that the stock market is going to be stagnant for the next 10 years. I know nobody wants to hear this, but all the data in the groups I'm in, it's going to be in this weird stagnation thing. Now, some of it's the government propping it up, and some of it is controlled forces, right? But at the end of the day, you got Michael Murray, you got all these companies that are dropping millions of dollars in the stock market. You got politicians coming to Congress and then becoming millionaires off the stock market, right? Xanatos, the old joke is that by the time Black people figure it out, they're going to change the game. I still believe that. Why do I believe that old wives' tale? And it's really because we're just last. We want the easiest lick in the book. And that because historically, that's because of problems, that's because of a lot of reasons. But at the end of the day, when you talk to a lot of Black people, like if they can't go online and see somebody young like themselves doing it, or somebody explain it to the level of a fifth grader, then they don't want to do it, right? Like, I mean, I remember explaining trucking to somebody. They just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to drive trucks because all they heard was like, man, you got to shift all these gears. I don't want to do that. I was like, brother, you about to be homeless. Don't you want to make 100K? Man, I'll find something else to do. Right. So when it comes to, there's so many millions and billions of dollars going in and out of the stock market. You coming in as Diamond Save, you were the few people coming in and pulling some money out the market. Ain't no thing. It ain't no thing. When it comes to real estate, when you see all the Black people, Max Maxwell promoting with 2 white co-work partners, wholesaling, and then everybody Black is wholesaling. Part of my even frustration when people try to do the wholesale thing is I'm like, at some point, yes, creative financing is amazing, but at some point you need to have some pocket money to go further in real estate. Yesterday cost me less than $600, but I remember talking to somebody. They were like, "Oh my God, aren't you tired of spending money on there?" I'm like, to protect the $50,000 investment, I just need $100 door and some plywood. No, that's nothing, right? But when people don't have any disposable income and they can't think of a way to go make more money, they get stressed out like that. So I would say minorities are, just from the sake of numbers, Black people are medium age is 33 years old. Latino people medium age is 32 years old. We're primed as these two groups to take over most of America. So we already sit in a position of like, hey, we're gonna make some lawsuits, we're gonna shake some tables, y'all gonna give us some money back, right? Well, doesn't that argument get destabilized if I bring in a bunch of immigrants from all over the world and they become the new business class? Don't that get destabilized, that whole argument? Like, they came here, look at what they just did. How come y'all can't get it together? They did that with Asians for the whole 80s, 90s, 2000s. Now Asian people are literally coming in, like buying up whole cities, investing in whole shopping plazas. Brian Chung, prime example, was on YouTube. Came from a poor Korean family. Mom was working at the post office. She still was working at the post office last year, trying to get her retirement pension. Daddy working odd and end jobs. Like, they not even the Koreans who go own a restaurant. They just working regular jobs. Got here just glad to be here. They son didn't even know if he had enough money for college. He had a sports scholarship, lacrosse scholarship, and then was like, man, YouTube. And let's just be honest, YouTube is very friendly to any Asian person talking money or investing. Now, there's a whole group of Asian people doing makeup and stuff like that. They're kind of friendly to them too. But if you go on YouTube and you see financial, anybody Asian, investing Rose, any of these people, it's like their channel blows up. You can call that algorithm or you cannot. It's, who does that. But yeah, we'll just keep it moving. No and yes. The reason I keep saying that is a lot of foreign governments invest into real estate in America. A lot of foreign people buy farmland and land here in America, and they are invested in this thing being a cash cow for at least the next 20 years, period. Here's the thing. God know well, that's people trying to have shortcuts. And I get really tired of it's always everybody Black is a business scammer. No, y'all just don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Y'all don't want to read. You don't want to go to local RIA meetings. You don't want to learn about real estate. Everything the guy ever pitched, I'm like, y'all could have just bought the property yourself. It was 20 grand and you got it. Like, all these things people keep telling y'all, have some responsibility for your fucking self. Like, everybody's scamming. No, you refuse to read. You refuse to do basic math. And so you're trying to look for a shortcut or a lick and things happen. That's the stuff nobody wants to talk about. Evans, no. I think IT, just like when Robinhood did all that advertising, Robinhood needed new blood. It wasn't the best marketplace. It's not even the best platform as we speak, to be honest. But it needed new blood And I'm just going to be honest with you. Who makes things hot in America? Black and Latino people. If Black and Latino people are doing something, people are like, I want to do that. Right? If you notice some of the Instagram channels doing all this stuff at construction sites, it'd be like young Latino people. And their TikTok could be blowing up. I told y'all, I met 2 or 3 Latino Him 500s. I'm like, I look at their Instagram, I'm talking to them, I'm like, man, do you realize you like the Latino Him 500? And they just start laughing because they're like, they already know the synonymous that I'm connecting them to. So no, IT needs people. There's like literally 9 million job openings. And the best thing that happened, I'm gonna just say this right now, best thing happened for Black people was COVID, because a lot of people can't get here. And what y'all not paying attention to, while we're looking at the border, because Title 42 is getting ready to end, look at all the people in India that's still trying to get here. There's 500,000 people from India trying to get here. So when I sit here and tell Black people, y'all better get in touch. If you was on the fence, or you want to work from home, or you want to do some remote stuff, now is the time, people. Get in the door while the entries are like, can you breathe? Did you have one cert? Come in the door. Now, what you need to be mindful of, this is the thing Black people got to be mindful of while you in these jobs getting all this money. When that office starts to change, it's more Indian, it's more whoever, you better be paying attention. You better be on your P's and Q's. But I don't really have to say that to you when you had a job making 100, 150. It ain't gonna take but 2 to 3 years for your life to turn around. You know what I'm saying? People literally want absolute guarantees, no risks of losses in real estate, business, investing. Just in life in general, they want sympathy and not taking action, missing out. There you go. Let me finish these out. I only ask because it seems like America conveniently de-industrialized when Blacks were finding their way into well-paying factory jobs. So you also had NATO internationalism play a part into that, right? Now, here's the difference. And, Black people get mad at me all they want, but the last 5 years, if you didn't purchase a home, if you didn't even get pre-approved to purchase a home, I know you sleep at the wheel. Because every major city that has any type of Black people in it, and you've been in it, the area is completely changed. And if not doubled, the home prices have tripled. So if I talk to a Black person, I ask them in the past 5 years, have they tried to buy a home? And they say no, I already know they've been asleep. I don't even really try to talk to them much deeper than that. I'm like, okay. Oh, you just renting? Okay. I just nod and go about my day because I know they're not even awake. Like, a massive wealth transfer just happened here, just even in Austin and Houston. I've talked to a bunch of Black people in Houston who lived out in Katy, and they're like, I got like 300,000 in equity. Like, oh my God, what do I do? And I'm like, baby, if you haven't been studying, researching stocks, researching investments, researching investing in oil rigs right here in Houston, like, what are you doing? And this is the big pillar. The number one thing Black people complain about on the internet is housing and financial discrimination, right? But if I get on here and I ask the average Black person, do they want to buy a home? They're going to start talking to me about everything but how the white man got the foot on his neck, how they got a bankruptcy, how they had one credit card, they don't got it no more, how the interest rate's too high, how Grant Cardone told him not to buy a house, just all this silly shit that have nothing to do. Have you bought a house? Because really their answer is, with the income I make, I can't get the dream house I want. I can get a house, but it won't be the house I want. And that's really what they don't want you to hear in the conversation. So the embassy can do that, and that's fine, but the average American can go get 30K off a credit card if they just work a job and have decent credit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're mad at people coming here and we have the same opportunity. We're a cash cow for the next 20 years. It just depends. It depends on who is over our country. They call it the great experiment anyway. Who's over the country, what other countries are looking like, right? Because if you ever go to Singapore, Malaysia, if you ever go overseas, like some of these airports and the way the country looks is so much more advanced than America. You'd be like, damn, that's crazy. This is insane, right? So it depends on, over the next generation of 10 years, is America going to do a heavy job investing in its infrastructure? If so, who the hell doing the work? Right? You just saw what happened in Florida. You want him to be tough on immigrants. Well, then there's nobody at the job site because They claim they can't find white and black business owners to come down there. Is that true, or they don't want to pay real money? That's all. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Hit the thumbs up button. And people always say, what about all the layoffs? Them layoffs don't mean shit. The average person that went in and got another tech job in less than a week. Y'all just want to find an excuse, and that's okay. Baby, what did I tell y'all about IT? IT is a blanket term word. It's like when you say the military. I joined the military. What does that mean? There's over 700 careers in the Army. 700. But every time you talk to somebody black, well, my cousin was a janitor and he hated it. Well, that just tells me your cousin didn't study for the ASVAB, because there's over 700 jobs. Janitor and cook is like, we can't find nothing for you. Just here, do this. That's what that means, okay? So when you talk about IT, there's 1,000 careers in this thing. Even in tech sales, there's 7 different levels of career in tech sales, right? So you're talking about SDR, and then this person and that person. 4 persons making calls. 1 person is the finisher. The account executive is this person doing this. Like, it's thousands of careers. You could go work at a hospital and be IT. You could go work at a school and be IT. Right now in Dallas, the courthouse had to close for the whole week. Why? They had a cyber attack. Guess what's going to be the next thing they hire this whole past week in Dallas at the courthouse? Cybersecurity. It's going to be a job opening immediately, effective immediately, when you got to close a whole courthouse for a week. Okay? So there's millions of IT jobs. To ask me which one means nothing right now. Means nothing. They're training jobs. Dude, they're doing coding boot camps in parts of Guatemala and Canada right now. Exactly. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? They deep out here. They're the majority of recruiters, but the 5 recruiters I know are black and white. So be smart. Most high paying jobs pay college tuition and certifications. Yeah. I bought a house 6 years ago under a grant, no money down, and my closing costs covered everyone. I tried to do it, mostly complained about not wanting to cut grass or shovel snow. London Thomas, do you know how many people talk about garbage disposals and toilets and just asinine, stupid crap that you've heard? And I go, I don't ever want to hear anything from you again. If your family is broken, starving, I'm gonna go, remember that time you went buy a house? Yeah. And people are like, Ericka, that's harsh. That's terrible. Listen to me. It's the game of Monopoly in America is work a job, buy a home, buy a car. If you pay them 2 things off, you basically live almost rent free. You literally could be so, like, you could literally just have 1 house and a paid off car. As long as you do the oil changes and that car still runs. That's the game of America. Now, another game of America is how many assets you can get to pay you monthly, right? So if you actually look back in the 1950s and 60s, a lot of black people would buy their neighbor's house or another house or a piece of land beside them, near them, and rent it out. That wasn't uncommon. Boarding houses weren't a strange thing. We're always going to have people that are renters. But when you look back over the course of somebody's life, 10 years later, Landon, them same people, my rent's too high. My medication plus my rent is too high. Oh, Lord, my grandbaby needs somewhere to live. Oh, Lord, this happened. They have no house. They have no home. They don't have the basic foundation of the monopoly game in America. Owning a business is just a bonus. Owning a business in America is just a bonus. Like, you can go to work regular and buy a house and be in a neighborhood and have a car. You can do all that on easy mode in America. Having a business and tapping into that extra is just a bonus. Yes, I would say parts of Japan for sure, but that's because of their culture is homogenous. I'm saying it wrong, but homogenous is the same, right? Like, they have a cultural mission. If you go to South Korea, the average South Korea can't make it there. They do come to America. One, because it's really full in Seoul, Korea. And then the further you get past Seoul, you're talking about rural areas. They don't want to live in the country in Korea. They don't got time, right? They rather come to America and start over. That's why you have poor Koreans here in America working regular jobs, not owning a restaurant, not owning a business, working at the post office. Because it's just that much more financially better for them. They can cruise control in America. In their country, they ain't going to cruise control. Parts of Japan have poor people. Like Japan had a bunch of riots. One of my friends were there during the COVID, and it was like a section of people, I guess you would call them the lower level people, and it was never on the news. It was like, it was just TikTok and Instagram. You could see it from there. I just bought a house last year for 34,000. Now I'm rehabbing it. So I'm gonna wrap this up with this. But sense of mind, the number one reason when I talk to people about buying cheap houses, here's the thing. Here's two things that happen. They see a house in Detroit for 2K off the land bank, they buy it, and then they're shocked they got to put 100K in. They're like, "What? I got to put money in it? That's insane, right?" Right? Um, Part of the reason people don't want to buy fixer up homes because they have no intention of fixing it up. They really just want to move into a home like they do an apartment and not do anything different. Honestly, that's what their goal in life is to do, is just to move an apartment and not do anything and just show up and have an easy street. So when you talk about HGTV, hey, you can make all these changes. Hey, you can add this to your house. You can update your backyard. This is why we have this phenomenon of zombie houses where somebody grandma done got old and all this deferred maintenance. She ain't fixed the roof. She ain't fixed the AC. This is leaking. That's rusty. This all broke up. Oh, it's because grandma ain't have money. Did grandma not have money? Didn't every year y'all was pulling up to grandma's house with Cadillacs and Escalades and brand new cars, and y'all didn't have enough money to resurface grandma's tub? Y'all didn't have enough money to put new towel on grandma's floors? Y'all didn't have no money to fix grandma's roof? 4 or 5 y'all couldn't come together and put 5K on the roof? 10K on the roof? Shit, 20K if you really want to go there. And these are the same people gonna want to sell grandma's house when she died of. And then mad they can't get real money off of it. Because you got deferred maintenance, because you refuse to invest in it. This is my conundrum with most people. Like, I can't, if you have you don't want to start a business and you don't want to own real estate, you basically want to be a tourist in America. And I'm like, good luck to you. Just don't hang around me. I don't want to hang around you. So congrats to you. Good luck. Oh yeah. South Korea is bad replacement. So anyway, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classic Clown Blog. A little ranting, a little raving. It is a Tuesday, Tech Tuesday. If you see the email, I have a lot of cool links inside the Tech Tuesday email for y'all and on the community all the rest of the night. This has been your girl Ericka from the Classic Clown Blog. Thank you for being here. Excuse all the cussing. It just is what it is today. Have a great day.